I return again. What is going on, guys? Pothead here. So I'm back. I got a microphone. I got all this shit. Like, I'm fucking in it to win it, bro. Like, this is it. Rehab Part 2. Last time we ended off with me getting to rehab. I'm going straight into this shit. No plugs, nothing. Like, you guys deserve this. So, I get in. So, the rehab I went to is called Jaywalker, right? It's in Carbondale, Colorado. I don't really give a fuck. Like, air that shit out. Like, it was cool. It was a good place. It was, like, ethical, quote unquote, but it was still like, I just wasn't really fully like ready, bro. So we get there and it's divided into 3 portions, right? So the first portion is called the landing. 7 days, you like, it's a trial period to see if you're ready for the fucking actual rehab, which is called the lodge. So I get to the landing, right? Like, I pull up straight out of detox, like my big ass bags and shit. They search through all of them. I'm doing the typical like fucking entry to rehab shit, doing all the paperwork. They had you fill out questionnaires and stuff, and then like, I'm settled. You go upstairs. Like, honestly, it's a pretty nice house. It was, like, redone. We got the master bedroom because it was just me and my homie in this, like, honestly, like, I think it fit 6 people, and it was just us. So we got the master bedroom, nice-ass bathroom, all this shit. We had, and honestly, this was, like, the first time that I, like, fully, like, unpacked all my stuff because I was at the medical detox, low-key, like, didn't change once, didn't shower, like, going through it, bro. So I get here, like, I finally go through all my stuff. Like, I had 1 bag of like actual clothes, and then the dope ass part of this rehab was though, like, you got to go skiing during the ski season, so I had my ski bag, so that shit was tight. But I had my ski bag full of ski clothes, and I had 1 like little suitcase full of like actual clothes. So finally got to go through all that stuff, like see what I was actually working with here, which was not much. And they gave you like, you know, like bed sheets and all that stuff, which you would transfer over. You got this 1 set of bedding, a pillow and shit. Like, and I was like, oh shit, like my life, like I'm really like, I'm like a twin size bed person now. Like, I came from the California king to here, bro. Like, what's going on? So I sit on my little twin bed, you know, everything's cool. And this was like the first time that I was like, I had to wean down. So from detox to this part, they don't let you take like Subutex anymore or anything. So I was fully on like, I was low-key not going through withdrawals anymore, but I was on like, I still had, they gave me like my muscle relaxers for like the post-acute withdrawal symptoms, which you can get from opioids. So I still had those because my body was still achy and shit sometimes. So, and I fought for my life for these things, bro. Like, whole time, like I was like straight, like I made it through like 2 months still on muscle relaxers. And everyone who like, we would like all talk about like what meds we're taking and stuff, and they're like, how are you still taking this? And I was like, come on, fool, you know me. Like, I'm with it. So still had those, and honestly, like, the landing was chill, bro. We got 1 ski day. We saw the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson one day, which was tight. We had a dinner with the actual people in the lodge, which is like the main 90-day rehab program. And the rest of that, you know, we just ordered food in. We had like our first initial, like, we would have like 1 group a day that was like an hour long, and that wasn't shit. I didn't know what I was headed into in the lodge, bro. I was like, damn, this is kind of weird. Little did I know, bro. But the biggest issue though, I was running out of nicotine, bro. I came in there like, in the medical detox, this guy would run out and get vapes for me. At this point, like, I didn't really realize this, but some of the counties in Colorado had stopped selling flavored nicotine, and I hate the fucking Virginia tobacco jewel pods. I can't smoke them. That was all they had vape wise. So I was like, shit, what the fuck am I gonna do? I like rationed this 1 vape I had until I was like, when I went to the dinner at the lodge, they're like, yeah, bro, like, someone will get you a vape in here, like, don't trip. So I was like, okay, bet. So I rationed this shit, right? 7 days goes by, honestly, really uneventful. I'm getting into the lodge, right? I'm moving over, like, they had just come back from a trip to Moab. Every, I think, 2 months, you go on a trip to Moab in here. And this is a nice rehab. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you guys are probably hearing this, and some of you haven't been to rehabs or something. Like, this is one of the nicer rehabs you can go to. Not all of them, like, you get to go skiing and shit and all this. So it was nice. There was like a chef there, and that chef fucked, bro. Like, he was the main head chef at the Ritz-Carlton in Aspen until they like hired him here. So it was going nuts, to be honest with you. So I get into the lodge, right, and they assign you like your like buddy, which is just like a senior in the rehab, just someone who's been there like a month, 2 months. And I walk in, like, it's this fool named Zach, and he just like greets me. He's like all smiley and shit, and I'm like, oh damn, like this could be cool. I get in there, and I'm trying to explain, like, what's the best way of, like, describing the lodge. The lodge wasn't like a house, bro. So the bottom of it was, like, a renovated, like, pizza shop. So there was, like, a huge kitchen, and there was, like, a giant other 2-story room. There was the kitchen. There was, like, the garage, which was, like, where the refrigerator and stuff was. And then across from that was like the staircase upstairs, and then on the other side, which I guess would be the west side, was like the group room, which was actually like a library. It was this 2-story library, huge. It was tight, and you could also get to the rooms from there. All of the rooms, like the client area, quote unquote, was the second floor, where all of our rooms and shit were. I go upstairs. Me and Avery, the kid I told you about that I met in Detox, go up there. We're roommates. We're cool. We get assigned the penthouse, and I'm like, oh, that sounds tight. It's not. It's the worst room. There's 5 people in this room. It's the top of the building. 5 people in a room. Fucking sucks. And this is when it really hit me that, like, oh, I'm gonna have to share a bathroom and shit. Because it was like the bathroom wasn't bad, but it was just like a lot of people go through this rehab, bro. So the toilets were gross, the showers were gross, and I was like, this is the first time I've ever low-key like had to. I've never lived with people before. I'm an only child. Like I never had to deal with this shit. So I had to like get used to that. It was an adjustment period for sure. I'm trying to remember if, yeah. So they have you like tell your story when you first get there, right? About like how you got there and blah blah all this stuff. And so I do that. Sit through like the last like hour of this group. It's done. I was like, that's light. Like I can do this shit. And so after that, you know, we go up. We have dinner. After I got all my stuff put together, you know, got my room already and stuff. Dinner is cool. It's TV time. And after how it worked was, it was every day besides Tuesday and Thursday. We got TV after 5. So from 5 to 10, and then on weekends it was till midnight. You got TV time. And honestly, that's what everyone did. I mean, some people, if they were like super tryhards, would like go fucking work out and shit. But I honestly, like, fuck that. I'm not finna do all that. Like, I wish I had like dedicated myself to like the gym and shit, but I did not care. I was there to fucking chill and get sober. And I know that I'm not explaining this in like the most synchronous way. There were meetings every day too, right? Like you could elect to go to a morning meeting, which was at like 7:30 to 8:30 usually. And it was at this place called the Meeting House, I think. Meeting spot, something like that. It was just like this basement that was like a block or 2 away of this like building. And it was cool or whatever. Like, it was a pretty solid recovery community there, but it's small, bro. If you went to the night meetings, you'd go a little bit further. You'd see some more people. Sometimes some girls, and this was an all-male rehab, bro. So I was fiending, you know, low key. So I would always go to the night meetings, and you had to hit 4 meetings a week here, like no ifs, ands, or buts, or else you got consequences. That's how it worked. The chores of this were abysmal. Let me tell you that. You got up at 7:15 every day except for Sunday. You could sleep till 10 on Sundays if you wanted to. But every other day, you were getting up 7:15, you go do your fucking chore. Sometimes, like, some of the chores were ridiculous, bro. Like, some of them were, like, clean a bench. Or, like, go pick up the cigarette butts outside. Easy as shit. And the other ones are, like, clean all of the bathrooms till they're spotless. And they weren't even. They were not equal. And how the chores were picked, bro, is the fucking house fathers would do this shit. And the house fathers were elected by the house every 2 weeks. And they had to have been there longer than a month. Everyone would try and fucking, not literally, like metaphorically, suck the house fathers' dicks to give them the good chores, because they gave out the chores. And when you first come in, you just get assigned the shittiest fucking chores, bro. So I was on bathroom duty for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks. I figured out quickly, fuck that. Like, you get on these people's good sides, and I would always be like, bro, like, low-key, like, I just know, like, fucking John is so much better at doing the bathrooms. Like, do you really want dirty bathrooms? Like, I know I don't. So, like, you're gonna probably want to put me on this one, and you want to put John on this one. I would just fucking figure my way into giving the people I did not like the worst chores and giving me the easiest chores. But I did not know that the first 2 weeks. I got fucked. We also got assigned, well, I got assigned my therapist, and my therapist was terrible. I'm talking about, like, this guy, just a depressed little ball of human sadness. And it's I feel bad for him, but at the time, like, your therapist, like, communicates with your parents. Like, they give you power if you're in their good sides. And if they think you're struggling and shit, like, they give you consequences. So by all means, my therapist thought I was the most recovered person in the world. I had no problems. Like, I made sure they reported back to my parents, like, I am flawless. And this therapist was like a little, his brain was like a little malleable block of clay. Like, I formed him into like being my little minion, which I don't recommend. Like, really, if you have a therapist, like, be honest with them, like, do the work for yourself. Unfortunately, in this scenario, I could, even if I was like my most honest, truthful self with this person, he was just a terrible therapist. So I had to work with what I had, you know? That was a lot of information. We're gonna get into what's really going down here. About, I'd say, a month, 4 weeks into my stay there, this kid comes in. His name's Jackson. Now, at first, I did not like Jackson. He talked about how he was a psychopath, how he tortured animals, all these things, how he felt no empathy. And I was like, You know, there's a running joke around the house, like, fucking don't get on Jackson's bad side, like, he's gonna kill you in your sleep type shit. Like, this dude was, like, fucked to everyone. And then, like, I started to get to know him. Like, it randomly came out that we both liked this show called Succession. Fire-ass show if you haven't watched it. So good. Honestly, everyone else at this fucking place was super fucking boring. Like, they were incredibly surface-level people, and this person saw eye to eye with me on a lot of things, which is kind of scary. But it wasn't like I don't fucking hurt animals or anything, like, don't get me wrong, but he was fucking cool. Like, he was intelligent, as most psychopaths are. So I need to introduce that character because it's important to the story. Another character that's crucial in what happens is this guy named Brian. Brian is 36 years old. He's been to 9 rehabs. He came into this rehab halfway through my stay, fentanyl addict. So off fentanyl, you withdraw for 21 days straight. Bro did not want to be there. He was fucking cranky, like, all this shit. But he fucked with me hard because we both are, like, tapped in the raps, or I was kind of tapped in the rap scene, whatever. We also all had, like, you got this card that filled up with $75 on it every week. You couldn't use it at, like, liquor stores or anything like that. You could only use it essentially at, like, the city market. But at the city market, they sold burner phone. And on this burner phone, you could connect to the Wi-Fi, which for some reason they had the Wi-Fi password as Jaywalker1. And from there, you know, you could log into your Instagram, you could log into your Snapchat, like, you were lit. You could watch Netflix at night. Like, it was essentially like fucking having it was having a phone, just you didn't have a service. And you could buy service if you had your debit card. So yeah, we all had burner phones. I'm talking about every single person in this shit had burner phones. But it was like a constant war with the people in this rehab, the staff, because if you got caught, A, it got confiscated, and B, you got a write-up. If you got 3 write-ups, you got kicked out. You essentially had 3 chances. One time, I got caught with a burner phone, but they didn't see it. It was just in my back pocket. I was being dumb, bro. I was wearing sweatpants, I had it in my back pocket. It was so obviously a phone in my back pocket. And they're like, hey, like, what's that, like, rectangle-sized shape in your back pocket? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just walked away, and they're like, show us your pockets. And I was like, no, bro, like, I don't have to, you don't have the power to search me. All this shit. And they're like, okay, well, if you don't show us, like, you know, it's going to get really bad for you. Like, this is your chance to come clean, be honest. I was not trying. I didn't have any money on my card left, so I couldn't go get a new fucking phone. I wasn't giving it up. So I fucking hit it, and I came back, and I was like, here's my pocket. He's like, bro, like, come on. Like, be so for real right now. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not giving shit up. Like, I played it off. Like, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, that's my pockets. And they're like, okay, fine. That's how you want to play it? And so the next day they come in to group. And they're like, yeah, so some people have been less than honest with us about, like, the phone situation. And so we just want to make it clear, like, if you get caught with a burner phone once, like, it gets caught, confiscated, right up. And if it happens again, you're gone. You're kicked out. And I was like, okay, so this is totally about me. They're like, but if you bring in your burner phone today, you don't face any consequences. Like, we'll take it. It'll be anonymous, no write-up, blah, blah, all this stuff. I was like, okay, like, whatever. Tight, bro. I'm not giving that shit up. I didn't give my phone up. Fuck that. I need to watch my Netflix before I go to bed, bro. It was a constant struggle, though, because they did bed checks every night at 1 a.m. So if you fell asleep with that shit, like, in your bed, like, you couldn't. You'd get fucked. You either had to stay up past 1 a.m. or you had to, like, go in, like, the corner of your bed and, like, put your blanket over you. So if you fell asleep, it would be under your blanket. It was a lot of work to have that phone, bro. I'm telling you. That's how Brian knew, essentially, about, like, my Instagram and stuff. Like, we all had Instagrams because we had phones and stuff. Brian is an essential part of the story. And if it seems like I'm running fast over all this stuff, it's because I am. I want to get to the real meat and potatoes of, like, what happens at this rehab. Because this is a 4-parter. There's, like, little stories in between that I might tell later. Rehab series is 4 parts. And I'm kind of glazing over all the less exciting stuff to kind of give you the real fucking thing that happens here, which you saw in the title. The whole house gets COVID. And how it worked is if you got diagnosed, if you tested positive for COVID, you got moved into an apartment. They had this, like, block of apartments, like, half a block away. You'd go there, you know, they'd bring you food. But the only time you saw staff is in the morning for your morning meds, lunchtime, and then the night for your night meds. You didn't see them any other time. You didn't get drug tested. You didn't get breathalyzed. None of that shit. So I went from getting drug tested every other day to nothing. Anytime, anywhere. And I was like, okay, like, you know, theoretically, if I want to do something, like, now would be the time to do it. But I didn't really think about it that hard because honestly, until then, like, I've been working a good program. Had a sponsor, was doing my steps, like, going to meetings, and then after I got diagnosed with COVID, I got put into this box, couldn't leave it for 9 days straight. And after, you know, the first week I was like, okay, like, I'm okay, like, I can do this, like, blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, you're sitting there watching TV 9 days straight, bro, not leaving, like, not getting any sunlight, like, that shit takes a toll on you, bro. And so me and Jackson got put into this fucking apartment together with Brian. And we're boys, you know? And we're all, like, impulsive as fuck. Like, a day or two before this happened, like, Jackson and I were toying about the idea, like, we could just get drunk. Like, low-key, like, if we have COVID for 3 more days and not going to show up on the test, like, we'll be good. Like, we could just be drinking all the time in here. And then Brian comes in, and he's like, fuck it, bro, let's do it. Like, fuck it. And so Jackson's like, I'll do it tonight. Like, I'll go steal a bottle. Like, I'll fucking sneak out. And I was like, fuck it, I'll come with you. Like, why not? So night rolls around, bro. We literally, like, we get the night meds. We wait, like, half an hour, and we're like, okay, it's time. And we're literally running, like, a fucking SEAL Team 6 operation down these fucking back roads. Like, looking to see if we see, like, a text car. Like, anytime we see, like, headlights or anything, we're ducking behind bushes. We're hiding. You would have thought we were in the goddamn military with how perfectly we executed stealing this bottle of liquor, bro. We get 3 blocks down, 1 block to the left, boom, liquor store. We get there. I'm like, all right, bro, like, it's your time to shine. Because we had established that he was stealing this shit. He didn't give a fuck. Like, he was a psychopath, bro. He didn't have no fear. He didn't have nothing. And he's like, all right, bet, I'm going in. And I sat there, like, I literally remember this so clearly. Because the liquor store was right off of Main Street, bro. So there was cars going by, all this shit. Where I was perched, there was one of those big electrical boxes, the big green ones. So I was, like, crouching behind it, like, sometimes peering up, like, making sure no cars, like, that I knew were coming and shit. And this shit was gnarly, bro. So he goes in looking so sketchy. Hoodie on, COVID mask on, backpack on. I'm like, bro, we're low-key going to jail tonight. Like, this shit is fucked. And to my surprise, bro, he comes back. He's like, I got it. We got a dip. And so we're fucking, I don't even know, like, how to explain how, like, the concoction of emotions that I was experiencing in this moment. I was like, I'm about to relapse. I'm about to get drunk. I'm hyped. I'm scared. We just stole a bottle of liquor. We got to run. And so we're literally just, like, flying down the back roads, bro. Like, I'm talking about, like, I was in some fucking flip-flops, bro. You would have thought I was Usain Bolt with how quickly I was moving these flops, dog. They were slipping and slapping. It was rainy out, like, all this shit. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't feel anything. Like, I was getting home. We got home. We take it out. We're in shock, honestly. Like, that's the only way I could describe it. Jackson's like, all right, bro, we're doing it. I was like, fuck, bro, okay. He takes a shot, and we're past the point of no return, bro. Like, I take a shot. I'm like, all right, I've relapsed. Like, we're going in. Brian's down there. He didn't come. He bitched out. Actually, I think we planned it as like a 2-person mission because it was like more clandestine. I believe that's how it happened. My memory of this night is a little bit foggy, although I remember a lot of it because of how fucking stressful it was. We're all just chilling, playing cards, like listening to music. We're fucking having the time of our lives, to be honest. I remember, like, bro, Rehab fucked up is lit. I was into it. And we're laughing. Like, you know when you first, like, get a buzz off some liquor, you're like, this is, like, the best feeling in the world. For, like, 2 hours, like, we're having a ball. We finished this bottle, though, between 3 people, and you guys know me, I don't drink alcohol. Like, I was fucked up. We're all, like, we're laughing. Like, we're trying to, like, get around the, like, apartment building, like, all quiet and shit, making all this noise and shit. Like, I'm eating pretzel chips. Like, I'm fucked up. We go outside, I'll smoke a cigarette. And Brian's like, all right, guys, like, I'm getting tired. Like, if you don't keep drinking, alcohol makes you so tired, bro. All right, peace, bro. Jackson and I go back to our room. We're sitting there watching, what the fuck is that Quentin Tarantino movie called? Jackie Brown, I think. It's the one with Robert De Niro and Samuel L. Jackson. It's the older one. I think it's called Jackie Brown. Don't fucking castrate me if it's not. Anyways, we're watching this movie. And Jackson's like, yo, we should go try and find some weed or something, bro, or like some coke. Like I got $22. Literally pulled out his wallet. I got $22. Like, let's fucking make this shit work. So we sneak out again, bro. We're walking down. We don't give a fuck at this point. We're drunk. We're walking down Main Street. We couldn't leave the building, much less walk away from, like, where anyone knew we were going. Like, if someone had seen us out, it was like 1 a.m. at this point. None of the fucking people would have seen us out. If someone had, we would have been fucked. Anyways, we're walking past, and there was bars. Like, down Main Street, there was bars. And we see all the drunk people outside of the bars, and, like, I wonder if they got weed. Like, what do they got? We're approaching people. We're like, what you got? And nothing happens. We don't find anything. So we take a walk down to the end of Main Street, and conveniently, at the end of Main Street, what is there? A dispensary. And we're like, damn. If only this could happen. And I'll start putting up the security camera footage of this shit, hopefully right now. Because, like, we get there, and Jackson's like, there's this grate, which you can kind of see in the picture. And he's like, yo, I could get in there. I could get into it from there. I was like, bro, I literally pointed up. You can see me do it. I'm like, there's so many cameras here, bro. Like, why the fuck would you do this shit? He's like, nah, bro, like, fuck it, you know, like I'll come back with a mask and like I'll do this shit. All right, bro, like I'm not with that, and I don't want to go to jail type shit. Like I was drunk. I wasn't that fucking drunk. Like I'm not a psychopath. Like I have fear. Like that shit is stupid. I also have self-preservation instincts as a human. Don't want to do it. He's like, all right, like let's go back. And I was like, okay. We go back. I sit down. I'm like, yo, you ready to go to bed soon? He's like, I'm gonna go back out. You want to come? And I was like, nah, I'm good, bro. And eventually he's like, nah, bro, just come on. Let's go for a walk, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever, fool. So we're smoking a cigarette, walking down, and yo, like, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, I'm not. He's like, okay, bet, dip. Okay. And so I go back. I'm so anxious at this point, bro. I have no idea what's gonna happen. This fool comes back an hour later, covered in blood, because he had beaten down the triple pane glass door with a rock. Triple pane glass door is solid, bro, with a rock, until the point there was a hole just big enough for him to go around and unlock it from the other side. His arms all bloody, his back's all bloody from like climbing through it and shit, bro. So gnarly, because he had to go through another glass door to get inside the dispensary. And he's like, bro, like, there's cops out there for sure. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, oh, because they were broadcasting into the dispensary. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, there was an alarm blaring in there, like, Carbondale PD is on their way. Like, we have a burglar at this location, this. And I'm like, okay, bro, like, this is crazy. This fool had a pipe, he had flour, he had edibles, he had a dab pen, and he's just like smoking it so hard. And I'm like, fuck, like, this is crazy. Like, low key, this is the, like, I've done some stupid shit where I could have definitely gone to jail, but this was the most stupid by far, because there was no escaping it. I'm on this camera, I'm with this kid, like, this is coming back to me no matter what I do. And at this point, like, I've already drank this liquor and I'm having a panic attack, low key. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm like, what did I used to do when I was feeling anxious? Smoke weed. I start smoking hella weed, low key. I'm hitting this dab pen. We're smoking actual weed, like trying to blow it out of the window. Shit's fucked. Like, but like the first 2 hours, like, by the way, it's now like 2:30 in the morning, 3 a.m. Like, it's so late, and we're just so like, the first 2 hours after we got this weed, like, we're laughing. Like, we're like, this is fucking crazy. Like, what is going on? It was insane. I don't know how to describe it. It was nuts. And we're having a great time. And then after the first 2 hours, I'm like starting to be like, I'm panicking, bro. Like, what are we gonna do? Blah blah. And we get serious for a moment. He's like, bro, like, I'm taking all the charges, all the blame. Like, don't even trip. I'm like, bro, like, I might get kicked out. Like, regardless of like if legal action or whatever. Like, I'm getting kicked out, bro. Like, you're getting kicked out. Like, we're fucked. He's like, yeah, but you're not getting any legal shit, bro. And low-key, like, he stood true to his word. Like, he took that shit. I didn't see a single repercussion from this besides getting kicked out of the rehab, bro. Like, honestly, like, he stood 10 on that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a lot, for sure. I'm sorry if this seems rushed at certain points and if there's not enough info. Leave a comment if you don't understand anything or if you have any, like, qualms or whatever. I can try and respond and clear it up. Again, like, the main beef and potatoes of this rehab series is 4 parts. I'm gonna do, like, there's obviously so much shit that happens in between, like, so many little videos I can make, but this is like these are the inciting incidents, and I'll probably add stuff in here, but I need to just lay this timeline out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it this far, comment blueberries. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Peace.